Today's podcast is a peer dialogue with Shane Pope to go deeper into the journey from comfort to the call to pioneer. Shane is an international business director and a facilitator of personal and professional convergence. He's on a mission to redefine business as a deeply personal endeavor rooted in identity, purpose, and impact. Shane, welcome to our peer chat, our peer dialogue.
Hey, it's good to be here again. Good to see you.
I'm really excited, to hear what you catched up from the interview and how it resonates with you. That invitation, the call to pioneer, and actually step out of being in the comfort.
Yeah. Yeah. The comfort's a nice place to be, right? I mean, we don't call it comfortable for nothing. But you're exactly right. That call to pioneer is there, and you hear it, and you sense it, and you see it, and there's nothing to do but to step out and step into it for sure.
So what's holding you back?
I think one of the things you mentioned really resonated when you talked about feeling stuck,
Hmm.
and and you said that feeling stuck, well, not having words to express what you're sensing, this invitation, can be confused with feeling stuck. And it's all about trying to find and develop language around what you're sensing is the invitation. I mean, that really struck home to me.
Yeah, yeah, it happens so easy.
Mm.
Although we find it hard to reflect on personal growth, we actually easily condemn ourselves.
Yeah.
We reflect on what we could do better next time
Mm.
instead of what gain we want to see next time again.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same process. It's the same thinking pattern, but just different trigger, different
Mm.
intent.
Mm.
And I truly believe that if we switch perspective in how we reflect on ourselves in the moment. So I'm not talking about time setting apart to reflect, but really
Right.
in the moment. And we switch the lens to what did I enjoy? What did I gain? We
Mm.
already are not walking towards confirmation that we are stuck.
Yeah.
But we really have to be conscious about how we reflect, what our thoughts are. So actually, in a way, what the inner language is that we use in our inner dialogue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's well said, and it's part of the challenge, isn't it? And you mentioned this as well, that so much of the language that we have is because of it's something we've experienced in the past, and we've understood it, so we can then put language to it. We've found language to describe that experience or whatever it is. But what we're talking about here, with the invitation to the future, by definition, it's unknown. So we don't have the language to describe that thing yet because we haven't stepped into it fully. And so so there's a question for you, Ian. How do you personally develop language for who you are becoming?
It's a good question. It's the real question. Well, I think it's part of becoming humanly intelligent. Like
Mm,
the whole world is filled with artificial intelligence discussions, dialogues. But artificial intelligence only functions in our favor if we are human intelligent.
mm,
But they use a similar algorithm. So the AI core is that it has a word and it finds just the next word that
mm,
connects with it and creates a
mm,
sentence of it. And based on how you direct it, it will create new language that support you in where you want to go, or it confirms your bias.
Mm.
So the general note we talk about in our household is never ask it a question, always give it an assignment.
Mm.
So back to human intelligence, that's the same thing. If you ask yourself a question, you recall a memory.
Mm.
And your memories are stored by language keys. If you have the words, you can recall them. And sometimes they're triggered by emotions and smell and all those
Yeah.
elements. But the core is that we have the words to recall them.
Mm.
So if if we are not intentional, we tend to fall back to a bias, a bias confirmation, instead of that we step up, step out, move forward. So intentionally looking, so it's the conscious mind, intentionally being looking for words to express what I'm about, who am I becoming, what I really sense, um, is not the default, but it's a habit.
Mm.
It's a habit
Mm.
to go into whatever the loophole is, the infinity loops, the spirals, the circles of thinking.
Mm.
As long as if it's not being stuck in a circle and it goes somewhere, and then use my discernment, my gut feeling, my heart, my soul, to, I would nearly say to judge, but that's also not the right word. But
Mhm.
at least to discern that there is life in it.
Mm.
Because the moment, I'm talking about previous podcasts about that with Deb, the moment I fall back to, yeah, this seems right, or this is good. Oh no, that's
Mm.
not what it is. It's so hard to separate our inner dialogue from the external input. So,
Yeah.
question is, does this give life? Does this new language, these new words, trigger me to that new words pop up?
Mm.
Like when we do futurizing, I tend to always fall back on using Legos to use the bricks to express visually what you sense on the inside, and then you
Mm.
have to start talking about it, explaining it to yourself. Start using
Mm.
all senses.
Mm.
Like seeing is believing, and you see that structure of that you make with your hands out of your what you sensed, your spirit, your heart. But
Mm.
now it's about finding words to express it.
Mm.
And what about if there are new words? And then the step is, what's the first word that pops up in my mind?
Mm.
Speak it.
Mm.
Because immediately a second word pops up. And when you speak it, a third one, a fourth one, a fifth one. So language is like, I would nearly say like popcorn. It just
Yeah.
pops up after you have spoken the word. So it's that being courageous, trusting yourself, going the extra mile in just, do you have the courage to speak it out?
Mm.
Because then
Mm.
your mind is filled with the next word. And before you know, you have created a sentence that your brain immediately catches up with. Yes, that's what I mean. That's what I'm about. Because your brain sees it, hears it, and already changed its language.
Mm.
And then it sounds obvious afterwards
Right.
because you're aligned.
Mm.
But if you really recall your experience, it was like, do I really trust my gut feeling that it's this weird word that pops up in my mind? It's that my millisecond micro thought thing that we
Mhm.
need to partner with.
Mm.
And it is, we are used to partner with the micro language around fear and lack.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
are we also using exactly the same mechanism and trusting the micro millisecond words around future?
Mm. That's an interesting challenge because one of them, as you say, one of those is in essence comfortable. It's language that we're familiar with. Our brain has probably gone around that circuit 20 times already. That's the past. But what you're talking about here is stepping into new language to take a step up the mountain, if you like, rather than continuing to go around it. And I love that picture that you sort of painted here about climbing a mountain, and that you didn't want to discourage people, but it is hard work, and it is. It's certainly in my experience to try and find that language, to step up the mountain into something new, something unknown that you're sort of sensing is out there, but you can't yet wrap your mind around it, and therefore it's hard to find the language to describe it. And so, how do you keep going on that journey? You mentioned there about peers, about travel companions, because like you say, the oxygen's a bit thin up there, and to keep going is hard work. What does that look like for you?
Well, yeah, it's in a way it's a lonely journey, and
Mm,
at the other way, it's not an isolated journey. So there are fellow pioneers pioneering their own path, and you're one of them in my life. Like you are a peer. So when I discover a new language and explore what they mean, where it begins, where it ends, and use my imagination to push further, go higher up that mountain,
mm,
I also need the reflection of my peers, not to echo, but to fine tune my language so that it
mm,
really expresses who I am becoming, what I have
mhm,
vision for. And there is this I would nearly say natural resonance happening when peers fine tune each other's voice, because then it feels like the sound, the voice is stacked. So you get this amplification of what you are about, who you are becoming, what effect you have. And when other people push you back to shape it as clean as possible as being your language, and getting rid of all the references you have to associations that other people do not share. So really
mm,
make a clean language.
mm,
There is so much encouragement in that. It helps you to start believing it yourself, which sounds really, really strange in a way, but you're developing new language or giving expression to who you are becoming. And by speaking it, we know that our paradigm shifts, our actions, our behavior, it all shifts, and it will be created, will be received.
mm,
In the whole journey, there is a point that I have to believe it myself first,
mm,
because what I believe influences my behavior. Talking with your peers, that is accelerated, that's boosted. The self belief, the fine tuning, the cleaning up,
mhm.
and it's invaluable, because else you get isolated
Yeah.
and it sounds way better in your head, and it feels like you're losing touch.
Mm. Yeah, that makes sense because there's something about resonance in there, and you and I have talked about resonance before, but it's, as you say, it's finding that language to describe or to put words to who you're sensing you're becoming. But that language has to resonate with other people for there to be impact and influence. If it doesn't mean anything to anybody else, then it doesn't help in creating those connections, and figuring out a way forward with people. Because I love what you said about the expression of identity through your creativity, adding value to others. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, that is a one liner I keep repeating.
Mm.
because I truly sense that it tackles two major flaws in our current time and age. The first one is creativity.
Mm-hmm.
Like creative uses the same words as reactive. It's, but the impact is the opposite.
Mm.
We are all creative. And if we use our creativity to create, express based on who we are becoming, who we are, then we call it authentic. And authenticity is what creates trust.
Mm.
So that is really, really important that you express yourself in an authentic way using your creativity.
Mm.
So creativity is not locked into that's a special group.
Mm.
Those are the artists. Those are the creatives. And I heard it so that you hear that so much, and it's so painful to hear that people, I would nearly say, proclaim over themselves that they are not creative.
Mm.
That is damaging. That
Mm.
kills your self image. It kills your added value for others because you are the biggest gift you can give to someone else. But that is based on your uniqueness, which is expressed in your identity and overflows through creative solutions. The other thing in that line is that creativity adds value. Creativity leads to solutions. And, and there are so many people say, well, but what about art? Art is a creative solution for your soul. It feeds your soul.
Mm.
So it's an added value for being human.
Mm.
A brilliant piece of jazz, you know, makes you come alive.
Mm.
You know, it resonates. You start to vibrate without, and you get new creative thoughts.
Mm.
So creativity always adds value when it's connected to authenticity. So that's why we started years ago by saying like creativity is the expression of my identity
Mm.
and it adds value to other people.
Mm.
So it's not just out there for just entertainment, just expression. Now,
Yeah.
entertainment has value. Everything has value. That's
Mm.
why value needs to be recognized, received, and rewarded.
Mm.
Because the value transfer, there is an expression, there is a language to express that you appreciate and value the creative solution.
Mm.
And then the funny thing is that means by you becoming you, the world goes around because you can sustain yourself by you being you and expressing you.
Mm.
That's the core of a human centered society. That's the core of a renaissance where people feel free, invited, encouraged to experiment in finding out who they are and adding that as value to other people. There is someone out there waiting to be blessed by you stepping up in who you are.
Yeah. I love that, and it reminds me of a conversation I had recently, and we were talking about how our work is one of the primary ways that we express ourselves to others and the world around us. And I haven't always seen work in that way. I think a lot of people these days just see work as a means to an end, a means to provide for a family or a certain lifestyle or whatever. But if we view it through the lens of, no, actually, my work is one of the primary ways I express who I am, then from what you're saying, that's creativity as well, how we express who we are. So in that through that lens, all work is creative. And like you say, it's not creativity is not just for the artists amongst us, but it's for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. And I believe it goes wrong when we say but it's not about this. So one thing you hear a lot in business circles and all types of community, I'm here to serve.
Mm,
Well, perfect. But add a few words because you're not there to be the serf, a paid slave.
mm,
You are there to serve with what?
mm,
With expressing your unique self,
mm,
which is valuable for others, that they recognize, receive, and reward. That always needs to be added to the word I'm here to serve.
mm,
Because if you say I'm just here to serve, it's about just servant leadership. The next thing could be it's not about me. Well, it is about you
mm,
because you make the difference.
mm,
And it is about what impact your serving have. Because the root words of serve is to help. So the whole service industry, the whole consulting industry, the advisory, all those, everything, all the way to counseling, it's all about I'm here to help.
mhm,
I'm here to put my best effort for you so you will have progress. You will
mm,
get through something. You will achieve what you desire. But I'm not here to just be a serf. I'm
mm,
here to serve you with value by being my unique self, expressing
mm,
it through my creative solutions. And you are served, blessed, when you recognize, receive it, and reward it. And that's for a lot of people that gets too real. So there is
mm,
an excuse to not make it real because now it's all about, hey, wait a minute. It's about how I wake up, how I show up, how I step up, how I gain advance through life. It's about my maturity
mm,
and not just my availability.
mm, mm. Yeah, I love that. And I can hear through what you're saying, it requires a lot more intentionality. I can show up and serve or help by just being a pair of hands, to do whatever
Yeah.
is asked of me or whatever I'm required to do. That's like level one or level zero maybe. But what you're talking about here, I think, is higher stages, higher levels of maturity when I'm bringing more of myself. I'm expressing more of who I am to bring more value to the people around me, other than just a pair of hands to do some work. Yeah, there's a challenge in there that requires intention, requires this uh, self discovery, this personal growth journey to really tap into who we are and who we're becoming, and how we really step into that, and bring that authentic, true self, whole self to the people and the situations that we encounter.
It's
Then
not,
there's challenges, Arjan.
yeah, it's not comfortable. I was just thinking the same. It's not comfortable.
But I love the language that you used. What was it? Unexpected setting. I like this because we've heard reframe challenges as opportunities. You've got challenge and then opportunity, but you've got a different phrase, an unexpected setting. Tell us about that.
Unexpected setting. Well, I develop new language on the fly.
Well, here's your chance to do it again.
Yeah. Well, it's a bit like, and that everything is debatable because that's how we use references in our language. So when I say, well, it's being outside of the box,
Mm,
which goes beyond being on top of the box, then a lot of people say, well, that's already your next box. Well, being outside of my default bias mental funnel um, is unsettling
mm,
and it's unexpected. it's like, what if life is happening for me?
Mm.
We have to go through that stage in our maturity to go further in having a fulfilled life. But it's unsettling. You can't just settle. You know, and it's unexpected.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
See it as a gift
Mm.
if that happens,
Mm.
and don't try to get back to what was normal.
Yeah.
And it is a bit
Mm.
that timeline perspective. 'Cause so many people say, but I have to be real. What's real? Reality is your perception through past memory and past experiences and language, which recalls that perspective. You decide that this is real or not real. So at most, it's a perception. And we
Mm.
all we all have a different perception. We
Mm.
all hear different while we listen to the same message.
Mm.
Because the words that come from a message, from podcasts, for a lecture, that is processed through what we currently are experiencing. And it's helping us to find language to explain to ourselves what is happening. But it's mixed up with our past experience. So again, we need peers to not get into, oh, this is happening. You know? If the moment you have that thought, oh, this is happening, now I understand, your brain takes over and says, this is it. Close the book.
Mm. Mm. Mm-hmm.
The moment you just say, well, no, there must be more. My gut feeling, my spirit tells me like I'm excited for more. Then why is this trigger right now?
Mm.
Do I sense this emotion?
Yeah.
What's the invitation? What can I learn?
Mm.
But this is like being uncomfortable to the max.
Yeah. No, exactly. You just mentioned the word emotion, and that's what's going through my head. Is this requires quite a high level of emotional intelligence, doesn't it? To realize, I guess, to see what I'm feeling, or to sense what I'm feeling, yeah, and 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 I guess listen to that, recognize it, but not necessarily let that then determine the next step by default. You you mentioned about falling back to survival mode, and I think we do that, don't we, when we're feeling too uncomfortable, or we encounter a situation that triggers an emotion, whether it's connected with past memories or whatever. We can fall back to that survival mode and either sort of back out of the situation or fall back to doing the same thing I've always done because I know how to do that and it feels comfortable. But I think it requires quite a high level of emotional intelligence, a high level of courage, and I think from what we've been talking about, the ongoing support of people around us who get the discomfort and are on that journey with us, for us to continue to step up and step into. Now, hang on a second. Yeah, this is an unexpected setting, but how can I really show up? How can I leverage this as something that's happening for me to become, I guess, like a stepping stone, the next step on that journey up the mountain into my future self, into the person that I'm becoming.
Yeah, and going to those maturity levels, if we take the one of survival mode, and unfortunately the next levels, they all stack. So you add maturity levels, you do not replace. It's not that you leave survival mode behind and you never
Mm,
get there. It's always there because you
mm,
have a lizard brain.
mm,
And the moment you fall back in, oh, I love to have that a dopamine rush again based on a previous success where people really appreciated me, then you're already partnering with the survival mode.
Mm.
So unexpected is a trigger for life is happening to me. So being intentional, it is you start to anticipate, which is an opposite emotional reaction, anticipation to expectation.
Mm.
So
Mm-hmm.
you set yourself up with your imagination, with your foresight, and your new language to anticipate for new opportunities, a new future quo.
Mm.
And by anticipating, you're in this active, creative mode instead of the reactive mode. Because if it surprises you, the unexpected, then you're not in life is happening for me. You are in, hey, wait a minute, what is happening around me?
Mm.
You have to do, it costs you a lot of time to realign
Right.
because the unexpected just unsettles you. It's
Mm.
like disruption. And with
Mm.
anticipation, it's like, hey, wait a minute, could this be what I've been looking for, waiting for, preparing for, developing for? Could
Mm.
this
Mm.
be it?
Mm.
And you start to see opportunities, you start to seize the momentum, and you grow.
Yeah.
So there's all lines of uh, without vision, people perish.
Mm.
And based on the hope, the perspective, we have energy and the joy to push through. So perseverance works when you anticipate something because now you know why you go into discomfort. Now you
Mm.
know what you have to pioneer because you anticipate a certain outcome, change, new level of life. So,
Mm-hmm.
so I think it's really important that you try to work on your anticipation using your imagination, which is all that creative side of you. Some say it's the biggest part of your mind, but it's the mind not accessible by language.
Mm.
It's with emotion, intent, accountability. You access that part of you.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels like like a synergy of bringing together. And one of the topics was around work-life balance, and I love how you shifted that from, well, work-life balance works at a stage of maturity, but we want to move beyond that into into a place of real synergy. So I guess one perhaps final question for you, Ian. If work, we talk about work and life, we're realizing that this is business and personal are one and the same. It's all life. Work and life are not two sides to balance, but one life to integrate. What practices, Ian, just get practical for a moment. What practices help you to create real synergy between your purpose, your relationships, and your leadership impact?
I think the easiest one is to try to find where things overlap.
Mm.
So, and not keeping things separated. There's so much insight out there that don't mix up friends with clients.
Mm.
That's a separation. That's a
Mm.
segmentation that keeps you from journeying together.
Mm.
So I think it starts, the synergy starts where things overlap. I saw a huge impact on my family and the worldview of my kids by inviting my most precious, important, long-term clients to have dinner with us around our table,
Hmm.
and that they have a dialogue with my clients.
Well,
That had huge impact on my clients, that had huge impact on my kids.
yeah.
So we saw that there was a synergy around home.
Mm,
So synergy around work, my personal development. Work is the expression in a way of my identity, my
yeah.
creativity in adding value. That's
Mm,
where I do my innovation. That's where I do my learning.
mm,
So learning at the workplace is the key for empowerment.
mm,
So keeping things separated. If we push things in, we push things out. That
mm,
letting that one go and just finding more organic, natural flows makes it messy. But innovation is messy. Synergy is
mm,
messy. The chaos is not your enemy. The chaos is the fertile ground for your new breakthrough.
mm,
And so those are, I think, first steps. Because when you are unfolding more of who you are, that is amidst a certain group of people you journey with, it becomes in a way too um, too much of a struggle to journey with your family, journey with some clients, journey on your own.
mm,
Why not? What's my life journey?
yeah.
How do those things amplify, accelerate each other?
Mm,
And that is the search that we call the midlife shift.
mm,
And if you find it and you fight it, we call it the midlife crisis.
mm,
But it's the midlife shift. It's
mm,
shifting to a higher gear where everything starts to work together for good. But it's that call. Like, do I sense and answer the call to pioneer?
mm.
And then the pioneer is a verb, is an action word. It's not a title. It's not a label.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question? Because it's quite a deep, comprehensive question.
No, it's good. As yeah, exactly right. It's funny, isn't it? I'm just as you're talking, I'm just my my brain likes to think backwards, and I'm just thinking in times past when clients were invited to to dinner tables in people's homes. That was part of used to be part of kind of doing business. Seems to doesn't seem to happen these and you go further back, people's businesses were run out of their homes. Home and business was all in one building, was all family, was all life. I think where we are in a place in society now that seems that separation is quite significant. And it's interesting to think about how life will change if we can bring those two things back together again, create some more synergy and just call it all life. It's all life.
Yeah, and we tend to use the work-life balance concept quite frequently for the last 20 plus years,
Mm,
before never.
mm,
And it is something that you need to achieve.
mm,
But in a way, it feels so wrong because having a life outside where I spend most of my time during the week
mm,
and then increasing my life so I can be more efficient and productive during my work time. I
mm,
feel that there is someone else benefiting than me
mm,
trying to find a balance.
mm,
And literally on a young age, I struggle with this. And I thought, but that means I'm average or even mediocre at both
mm,
because I have to distribute what I have no control over yet, time.
mm, mm, mm,
This feels unfair. This feels like
mm.
that the issue is made my issue, and while it's not.
Yeah.
So that call to pioneer is an invitation to go more into a synergy all the way to convergence lifestyle without the hard fight with a false metric of I need to have balance between work and life. Although there is a stage in life where it worked. When I look at my kids who are studying, it's one circle. Life, the Saturday job, and their study. It's one circle.
Right.
So now it feels like, okay, yeah, they have to balance it. But then you get your first job out of uni or education, and then you get full in your career. Oh, I have to build something on the side as well. So now it's like you're segmented. And your childhood memories, you were not segmented.
Yeah.
There was just one life. And that life was called play. Let's get back to that. Let's redeem that.
Love it.
Well, Shane, thank you for your, hard questions. I really had to puzzle
Find new language?
get my inner dialogue to a higher speed. So
That's been great. Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Pleasure. It's always great. It's always great to talk with you. Yeah. This is always fun.
Looking forward to our next conversation. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. I trust this conversation resonated and sparked something meaningful for you. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Next week, we will continue the path with walking the unscripted journey.